All right, so I don't know why this is happening, but my tablet became my Streamlabs, and I can move it now in wacky ways. So I'm having fun breaking my own set here. But look at this. Whee! That's pretty cool. I love this stuff. All right, enough of that. Alrighty. Let me switch myself over to correct set here. Oops. Do this one. Hi. How's it going? So today, I'm just gonna be getting kind of right into it. If you're new here, you can check out my comics at victorgnarly.com, and we'll be making stuff here today. Probably not doing too much shared drawing stuff, but I will be getting the Magma canvas back up for next week. So that'll be fun to draw and stuff with you guys again. The YouTube channel should have the 100 character thing uploaded after this stream here. I got kind of caught up and didn't really get it out in time. So when I'm not streaming in limited bandwidth, I'll get it out. We had some technical issues at the end of my stream on Friday, so the I had to wait for my internet to come back before I could upload anything. So yeah, we're mostly just going to be dabbling with some Sage comics today, and I want to hear from you guys. So if you got anything, feel free to chat. Hey man, I hope you have a nice day. Wish you a good stream. Thank you so much. It is something where I appreciate every time you guys reach out and whatnot, and yeah, thank you so much. That's awesome. Um, let's just get right into it then. I'm gonna pop myself over to the tablet here. I've got a Sage comic that I'm working on right now. That is it's going to be pretty goofy. It's been a while since we've seen her cats, so I'm gonna play into that joke here. Basically, have her come in the room, and be like, "Hey, it's like you guys always act like I haven't been here in a month or months or whatever. You haven't seen me in months." So, just playing on the fact that I haven't really gone back to Sage's apartment in a while. So let's just get right into that. Um, the last thing I was doing was I genned up some panels here, and got pretty happy with the initial results. There's been already some edits done onto these. Um, but like for example, this cat isn't here. I have like overlays and things to kind of like visualize the comic early. I need to make a pedestal or something for the cat to be sitting on as well. Um, and then there's actually a third cat that's involved in this too. So I have to get all those elements into here before I can be happy with this. But first thing I need to address though is the fact that Midjourney has a little bit of issue when it comes to overlapping complexities. Like for example, I tried to get her arm to move inside of Midjourney, but that didn't really work out. So instead, uh, I am going to be drawing her arm here. I've already started, and it's pretty simple right now. But eventually, I'll be reworking the line work a little bit to match the hues, especially because right now it's just kind of matching the dark outline of the shirt. But the next thing for me really to do is to get this to look a little more organic. I think I need to bend her elbow a little bit here, things like that. So you can see this is the original here before with the outline there. And whenever I'm drawing these, I actually put a white layer so that I can very clearly tell what is drawn and what is not. Got to use the old-fashioned way and do it by hand. The thing is that like it's a lot healthier of a perspective to go. This is going to get me 90% there, and it's with a character style or consistency that is repeatable and like it really doesn't actually add more work to it. My earlier comics added more work than saved me work. Just because we're dealing with limitations in that regard. But I'm just going to start shading this, and then I'll probably bend the elbow with the puppet tool, just to give it a little more. Um, a little more life than this. So yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. I will eventually clean up a lot of this line work. It's pretty rough right now, but all good. When you start to use like Puppet Warp and start manipulating the images, it's pretty what is it? It's pretty important to have it as filled in as possible because the Puppet Warp relies a lot on um no gaps, no holes. With AI, there are no limitations. You just click a button, and all your dreams come true. Yeah, right. Yeah. So there's uh there's no learning curve at all. No, no way. Okay, so I did draw a little bit of the outline on the color layer there, but that's okay. Not a big deal. I'm gonna be merging all these things together anyway eventually. Thank you for joining Legal Beagle. Yeah, I didn't click hard enough. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I have to find some actual royalty-free music to put in the background really quick because you know I'm not exactly too chatty when I'm drawing, so maybe something in the background would help here. Tanner's View. Can't deny that. Still need to iterate though, drawing or photo manipulation. Oh yeah. Let's see here. I can't trust royalty-free music from YouTube. Yeah, I just can't. It don't work. Um, let's see here. I think it was like, um, what service was that we were? Wasn't it SoundDraw? I don't know. It was something. It was some service we were using to mess around with. Is it Vido or IO? I guess so. Let's see. Let me kind of doing this live. Let's do it live. Oh no, I don't want to sign up for anything. No. Okay. I'm just gonna roll with a quiet YouTube then. Looking forward to getting Photoshop and drawing tablet as soon as we pay off the work out of work debt. Oh yeah, man. I'm excited to see what you get into. Um, okay. Okay. I'm just gonna let that play then. Put it down a little bit. Go to like here. If it's too loud or too quiet, let me know. I put it down pretty good though. Or you can yell at me to change the station and I'll find something a little more engaging, I guess. This is just some random lo-fi stuff. Oh, okay. Interesting that there's a poll. I didn't see that poll. Poll! Yeah, I mean, they've talked about a native drawing app before, you know. I type faster. I'm the fastest typist. I type faster than anyone you've ever known. What color? Alright, I'll just make it 10 with standard yellow. Yellowish. For now. start grabbing her shading here. I would love for someone smart like Raptor to make a GIMP plugin. Yeah, he's a big smarty pants. She knows how to actually do things with computers. That that's good. Get rid of the white here. See where I need to start applying some shade. Here. Yeah, we don't really need too much. If they did the Photoshop plugin, they'd be answering one of my first requests that I ever made to Midjourney. Please just just adapt it so that I can plug it into Photoshop, and you know, of course, Firefly and things would come out. So it's probably why, but who knows? We're getting her highlights in as well. Whenever you're doing lighting, particularly, you really need to pay attention to where your actual light source is coming from, right? And you know, just because I've been staring at this for a good while, I know that the light source is coming from the door itself, but like right behind it and above. So I basically imagine it's like right around here, you know, but a little to the left because the way that the shimmer is here. So like I want to make sure that that is represented. So I only focused at drawing the shimmer at this end of the light here. I think that should be good. There's a little bit of shimmer coming down here as well in her hair. So I'm curious if I need to address that a little later. But for now, like especially if I bend the elbow towards that, I think I would start to want to incorporate some of that. But at least for now, I think that gets things started here. I need to a little bit of shading underneath these fingers here. Okay, that should be fine. All right. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start adjusting the line weight, like the not the line weight, the hues within the lines, because that's something pretty unique to AI imagery. The way that it affects light affects line art is unique. So, for example, how much brighter this line is versus that line is because it's being influenced by, you know, the depth map of lighting and whatnot. So we're gonna try to replicate that and make this look a little more cohesive in that way. So I'll first kind of collapse this hand down to folder here so that I can just mute this. Yep. Okay. Then I am going to find the lines, which should be here. Wish I didn't draw these multiple layers, but it's all good. I'll make it work. First, I'm going to actually clean up this a little bit. Then I'm going to do like probably a gradient overlay on it. try to replicate some of this effect. You're doing real art to make it appear AI. Right, right. I do have to borrow a couple of the techniques that I see that Midjourney does to make it look quote unquote beautiful. There's a lot. Oftentimes I'm fighting that as opposed to benefiting it or benefiting from it. Honestly, that's also why you tend to see me drop my style of codes pretty good. I'm usually trying to find the funnier image, not the beautiful image. So, all right. So I got this in here. I'm just going to go ahead and select this brighter color here. Do a new layer and then grab a gradient tool. Select that gradient. Grab this. Make sure it's that color. Okay. And then let's do a radial gradient. And new startup idea, Midjourney, but funny, right? It's just all low style humor. Okay, look at that. Immediately better. And just by running a gradient over it. So the way that I did that was I selected my line art by holding Control and grabbing, basically like just the selection of the line art. And then I made a new layer and then applied a gradient over that. And that gradient goes from this color out, so it's kind of perfect for that. We can check her outfit now, just to make sure there's no like kind of dark spots or brightenings and things. And it actually gets darker here, you notice. But because that's more into the foreground, or sorry, more into the background, and this arm's more in the foreground, I'm actually going to keep this like this. And then I'm going to fix some of the line weight after I get this bent up here, because that's probably going to change a couple things. So now that I got that in there, though, I can mute it to confirm. Yeah, I like it. But let's go ahead and duplicate this and then hide it and then merge that into a smart object. The reason I'm doing this is because as a smart object, it lets me edit it without affecting the what basically inside of it. So like, I just said that terribly. It lets me edit the layer inside no matter what changes I make to it in the main canvas here. So I'll first save, just because this can break things sometimes. And we're going to turn on Puppet Warp, and you can see it triangulated the whole arm here. And so I'm going to now start giving her a very basic rig, selecting elbows, wrists, and then the key. Okay, these are the points I'm allowing it to bend. You need at least 3 to really get some control in this, but now I can just bend her elbow as needed. Okay, so wiggle, 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 wiggle. But you'll notice that a little pitch on the top here was moving too. So I can go back, make a new dot there, and now that pitch shouldn't move. There you go. So it's like, I'm gonna jiggle the door, jiggle the keys here. But because I have this as a smart object, okay, I can bend this a little bit, find the right point for the elbow, right? Let's go for like something like here. And I could even add more as needed in order to stretch out the shirt as needed. But for now, this is probably fine. I would most likely be looking at this just to make sure that the anatomy makes sense. Like I shouldn't have added those two just for sake of demo, because now they're kind of warping a little bit of what I wanted to do. But it's fine. A very simple rig makes a lot more sense than a complex one. But what this lets me do is if I'm happy with this, right, I could just keep working. Like, look at that. That's so much better already, just because there's a little bend in the elbow. But if I now, not only can I just turn this off, look at that, turn it on and off, but I can also go into edit contents here. Okay. and inside the contents is the unbent elbow. So if I need to change any part of the elbow or anything at all, it's here. I can just draw it. And so let's just say, like, look here, we have a little bit of that shading that was here. I know that I bent the elbow. I really shouldn't have drawn these on the outside of the outline here. So I'm gonna fix that really quick. Just by coming in and finding what layer that is. Just do group select there. There we go. And that shading layer, I'm just gonna actually clean up the outside there, and I'll apply that shading a little bit later. I was a little early on that one. And then come back down into here and fill in this line here. But being able to like compartmentalize the actual like design here to the point where you're essentially able to edit it freely like this, it's awesome. Like it's really quite nice to be able to just come in and edit. Let's go ahead and a little bit of that shading that's here. This one? Nope. This one. Yep. Okay. And I'll go ahead and put some of that back here. There we go. And then come back down to here. And I can see where all the gaps and stuff are now just because I have this as a dedicated shape, like a smart object. So very easy for me to just come in, make tweaks, make changes, blah, 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 save it. And as soon as you hit save with the smart object, all those changes get applied to your final version, to the one that's been puppet warped to the position. So it's essentially rigging. It's like 3D rigging. And it's very, very cool to be able to do that so dynamically without a lot of distortion or weirdness. So like you can see here, I can see a little bit of like a bright color at the ends of these here. So I can just do that again. Boop. Come into here. And if you don't see it because of the alpha channel behind it, you can just make a new layer. Make sure it's not totally black or totally white. You want to find something that's, a little bit there, because that's going to let you be able to zoom in and actually find those individual pixels that are causing some issues. So we can come in and grab this, shrink down to a single pixel, and do some old-fashioned pixel line art cleanup. This is, I remember being on DeviantArt in 2004, and people were gloating about, I work on my stuff down to the pixel. It is real art. And people were arguing with them that if you draw on like a Wacom tablet or whatever, it's not real. Like that I remember those arguments, and they all just came down to the fact of people saying, "Oh yeah, you're making shortcuts. You're cheating by going digital." I love seeing that debate today in contrast to that, So yeah, now I have this saved. I make sure I at least hide or delete that background thing that I did just to check where those pixels were. But I can just save this and then go back, and now they're gone. Easy peasy. So I have her here, but I also need to make a change to her, to the collar that's here, because her tie is missing and some other things of the rest of the comic. So if I pull this up here, she actually has this little cute black tie that she wears, and an easier thing for me to do is just to take the black tie from the panel that works and then just copy it to the others. I need them to move, so I'll probably do another puppet work for those. But the main thing that needs to change actually is the fact that when I added the arm, I didn't change the collar. So come down to here, there's her collar, right? What I can do, just for the sake of visualizing something else, I need to make sure that this sleeve bends with the arm. And now that I have this drawn the way that I have it drawn, right, where the elbows bent, all that kind of stuff, the only thing I really need to do for this, to use gen fill on this, is I'm going to rely on the fact that it's seeing the new arm to help dictate where the collar is supposed to go. Because now the collar is warped. It's not in the right position. It should be facing more down this way. And so what I can do is I can select everywhere where the collar is right now. Let's grab a little bit generously around here. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm on the very top layer so that my new arm is referenced. And I'm just going to gen fill this. I'm going to see if it just, without any description or anything like that, whether it's able to know that, one, I want a collar again, and two, if the collar is facing the right direction. And if anything, it gives me a nice blank in order to draw on top of. And no surprise, it didn't draw a collar because I didn't leave any of the collar behind. So if I make that selection, again, I can do that by holding Control and clicking the mask. That lets me get my old selection back here. I'll mute this. And I'm actually going to leave a little bit of the collar. Boom. And then I'll generate it again. But because there's a little bit of drawing, the image interrogation should be able to figure out at least some of it and go, oh, okay, there's an element to the neck here. So we can kind of cycle through. Let's do that one again. It's very close though. A lot of times with the Photoshop generated stuff, I'm oftentimes just using it as a canvas to draw on top of. All right, look at that. Let's compare it from before and after. So now I should just be able to take this and grab that line here, or that color, and begin to replace what's kind of wrong or missing here. But for most artists anyway, they're going to work with the blank. They're going to work with the one where the gen fill is just there to make a really clean, easy canvas. So like if I mute this, turn this off, turn that on, right? Now we have this clean one. I'll use that instead just to kind of illustrate this here. But I know that the center of her chest line's about here, right? So if I really want to do this right, I can now draw in where the collar now is. And if I wanted to, I can always gen fill something else to kind of take hold there. But let's do something like that. Yeah. Like that a lot more. A lot more than whatever it gened earlier. And I need to match the line weights a little bit. So let's go for like 7. Nah, it's too big. Let's go for 5. Okay. Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a good Sunday myself. No complaints. Rhapsody's feeling better. She won't be here today. She's doing some voice acting stuff. So she'll be in next time, probably. No obligations. We're pretty loosey-goosey here. I'll go for something like that for now. Maybe a little bit of a pitch there. Okay. Oh, nice. Glad to hear Donk Man. Donk Man. Oh yeah, for Friday is Good Friday and Sunday is Easter, so I'll catch you for the following week. Yeah. Oh yeah, man, it's all good. I figure the holiday will either be very busy for some people or very, very uneventful for others. So they'll either want to join or they don't. It's like it's I think I'll end up streaming just because I won't really be doing anything for Easter. So April Fools is right around the corner. So something else to keep in mind. Chill Day 2 made order in my CRF or CRF SREF folders to stop going over all the place to find them when I need them. Oh, nice, yeah. Especially for the alpha site and stuff. You can the way you can organize folders with the new Niji app too is super cool. Okay, let's get tie in there, and I'll worry about shading that after I get the tie in. I just quickly used object selection to grab the tie itself, and I am just going to group select out, or just marquee out, and that isn't a tie. Copy this for now, paste it in. And you know, these are the little notes that are going to make your comic super stand out. Is her ties should be the emotive to similar to her hair. Her hair needs to emote just as much as her face does. The tie will as well. It's to a lesser extent, you know, but it still does. So I want to make sure that I put a little bit of like a, you know, a bend to represent that she's like, you know, kind of turning the key there. And it's going to be mostly obscured in this panel, so not a big deal. But I will be applying a little bit of a puppet warp on this one too. Boop, boop, and boop, and then just put it like that. Just a little bit of a twist, and that'll help a lot. Boken. Ma, ma, ma. I love that emoji. All right, let's get this like that. Just gonna rasterize it really well. Actually, no, I want to keep it like this because I might want to use that later. So let's edit the contents of that. And I'm just gonna clean up some of the frayed bits from the object selection, automatic selection stuff. It has a lot of feathering when it does selections, so you need to really go in and make sure that you clean up all that feathering. You do kind of have to decide based on the imagery you're getting or what you want ahead of time, whether or not you're like cross hatching or anything like that. We're only doing you know, like a shadow and a highlight. No real gradients. There's a little bit of fading that you see here as her, you know, shirt stretches out there. I'll incorporate some of that fading by using the smudge tool a little later. So for now though, we can come into here, and you know, I know that tie is actually below the arm, so I should just be able to. Oop, that's right, I generated stuff there. That's fine. I can keep that up top, and we can just mask this. So I can select something like that. There. I'll select then the inverse of that, so I select everything but that area there, and then I will mask that. Boom. And within the mask, I can now draw with either black or white to add or remove parts of the tie like that. So swap it to white and just redraw what's missing. There we go. Now underneath that, come in and draw the rest of her tie really quick. I'm drawing over the hair there, but I'll fix that in a sec. Reduce the opacity there in order to just quickly remove the dark spot over the hair here. Okay. And then bring that opacity back up. Cleaning up anything that looks a little bit too bright on the edges. The top of the tie here. A little bit of that removed as well. There we go. Okay. That should be good. I don't think I'm happy with that. It's interesting that it tried to recreate some of the motion that I was aiming for with this shot, particularly the act of her turning the key and the door. So what is this music? I'm gonna skip this one. So what I wanted to show was that if you notice these motion lines here, basically what inspired the actions that I've now drawn into here. So I want to kind of borrow some of this stuff. So we can first turn it on and off just to confirm what I'm looking at here. But I see it as this is the door slamming motion here, and this is the turning of the key motion here. So this is where the inspiration kind of goes. Oh yeah, I don't know who came up with this idea. Was it me or was it the AI? The one hand is holding the knob and the other is behind it. She is turning the key that is just below the doorknob. In a different shot here, you can actually see the door. Like this. Right? Standard doorknob kind of thing. Okay. So if I now grab this, boom, I will paste that one, and then also I'll worry about the other ones later. Cats are so cute when they sleep on the walls. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I have to give them something to be standing on and stuff. But what I mostly want to show here is I'm going to actually drag this up to here, and I could just marquee select the white, but it could make some weird edging there. So instead, I'm just going to for now apply this as a linear burn so that I can just quickly see what I'm messing around with here. So let's go for, because I want to show her arm twisting here. So I think something like this makes sense. Actually pitch that a bit. Flip it left to right. Yeah, what is it? I have an idea for that too, and I'll show that here in a minute. But I think what I'm gonna do here is just leave this as inspo, AI inspo, and then draw on top what I'm kind of envisioning here, because it's oftentimes speech bubbles, motion lines I don't end up keeping. I would much rather just draw my own version of it or whatever. And it's very rare that I actually apply outline to my motion lines too. So it's like this would probably be something more along the lines of that, just a little twist or whatever. But I do like the idea of evoking a bit of a turn there. So let's go for Well, she would have already turned it though, because you're opening the door. Yeah, you know what? It actually makes less sense to have motion on the key because she's pushing. So I will focus only on the opening of the door. That's what I need. That's what I want to do here. So you see here, what I want to do is I want to actually drag this to here. That tone rotator cuff, yeah. I'm also gonna say that it's in character for Sage to open the door way too violently. I'm now going to kind of bring some of that original yellow back up into here. Here. Now that I have it kind of like loosely how I want the motion lines shaded, which is such a weird thing to say. You had it already when you started, yeah. But I oftentimes use smudge tool at this point to kind of bring the shading to stretch it out and make it a little more organic with how the gradients are in here. So you can see it's starting to reveal what I had drawn over, which is fine. But I mostly want to now come back into here, redraw the sharpness back into the edges, but it lets me be able to stretch out the colors a little longer and take advantage of that a bit. And now I am curious what it does with. Actually, let's get the outline drawn in there a little more. In like a bending swoosh. Yeah. The way I tend to emphasize that is with little bubbles. I'll show you that here in a second. You see that I'm oftentimes erasing the line that I just drew because I'm just not happy with it. Usually just that one specific stroke I did I just don't like. Alright. Now that I have this, I should be able to now select everything underneath that. Again, I could just erase some of these things, but I want to see what it does. Alright, so at this point, come into here, collapse a couple of these things. I'm going to collapse these two. There we go. these are the things that I would consider sin to do normally, which is just to rasterize things and hope for the best. Um, that's definitely taboo, but it makes me work so much quicker. So I don't mind, and I don't have a client to adhere to a certain standard, so I'm just doing it. That is a bad habit of mine, though, is painting with white. All right, take a look at how that's starting to look. Good. I like it. But now I'm gonna add those bubbly things I was telling you about, and then I'll clean up the line art afterward. Yeah, it looks too liquidy. Yeah, let's go for something like that. Looks pretty cute. I think the right word is dither. I'm cleaning up some of my images. It looks like the single shade of blue, but when you zoom in, it's chaos. Yeah. Dithering. Yeah, it's a like a post processing thing. Um, but I don't know the technical. I really should look that up, but before claiming. And now I'll just get rid of this. Oh, you want a neat trick for figuring that out? If you're using Photoshop anyway. If you don't know what blue to select in a noisy patch of colors, right? Um, but you can actually select based on a region as opposed to a single point or pixel. I'll show you that as soon as this gen fills. Okay, so you go to whatever eyedropper tool that's in here. And the thing is that if you come up to selection here, sample size, you can actually set a grid. So like 11 by 11 average means that it's not going to select the single pixel that's here. It's actually going to take an average of 11 by 11 pixels and find what the average color or hue that is in that area. So if I select, say, like somewhere close to her hair, something like that, you'll notice that as I start moving closer, it gets closer to her darker hair color. It's not actually where I'm selecting that's on here. Yeah, it's very useful for the noisier colors. Oh, you see it on GIMP too? Good, good. I'm glad it's on GIMP. That will let you bypass having to always, like if you're working with vectors, you can use point sample really, really easily. That's fine. But if you are working with very noisy, um, then yeah, that it helps to have that region average. Um, okay, let me clean up a little bit of this line art. It's starting to bother me. Screw you. Oh, I'm on the sand clone tool. There we go. Ah, it's underneath. Yeah, I mean, you're probably just fine using GIMP, honestly, when it comes to just drawing. You know what I mean? If your goal is just to have all, at least the major tools that are involved with drawing in Photoshop, you can just use GIMP all day. It's fine. However, I am appreciating all the Adobe AI stuff though. They just incorporate AI into Premiere, and I haven't messed with it at all. But it is pretty neat to be able to just be like, oh yeah, analyze all my footage real quick and let me do something with that. Yeah, and more support for open source stuff too. Like Magma wouldn't exist without GIMP. Okay. Sweet. I'm liking that. Actually going to probably stretch down a little bit of this here. Let's go ahead and start to merge a couple more things here. I'd take all of this, folder it up. Okay, cool. I'm actually going to clean up the, is it this one? Yeah, let's leave that outside of it. Okay. Now I'm actually going to mute this entirely to redo my my kind of cleanup here, because now I know what I want to do here. I don't need these references anymore. I'll probably just clean up the line art by hand there. It's easier than doing this. All right, and raster size that real quick. Let me draw, why not? Oh, okay, it's visible on another layer there. Oh, that's right. It's marquee. Hold on. Disabling the layer mask was enough on that. Now I can see where my holes are. That's good. And I can always come back here to reference the doorknob color and all that kind of stuff, but I'll get to that a little later. I think this is good for now here. Save that. And you have to always make sure that when you save something, if you don't save your master file after doing that, if you close it like I just did, there's a good chance you could lose everything that you just did because you didn't save your smart object. So yeah, knowing out of habit to save everything is super important when you start messing with smart objects. Okay. Sweet. And you can see I have the cat like superimposed on top of what I was drawing there. So we'll get to the pounce from the cat a little later. I want to make sure that the that the doorknob is not too close to the tail, things like that. Yeah. Sweet. Okay, we have these two here. Probably get rid of that thermostat in a minute. Let's go ahead and darken is fine for now on this one. I'll go ahead and start removing things I don't need. Yeah, I don't like it either. All right, that's already pretty clean. So I should just be able to come into here now and select the eye color of the cat. Got 3 different eye colors right now, so let's just do this one. And because I have it as a blending mode, I'm gonna be pretty tight on it, but I should just be able to draw right in here, and you see how it draws underneath the eye. As long as I don't draw into the fur at all, should be totally fine to just keep this as a darken blending mode. Blending mode is how you save time. Saves so much time working with Photoshop. Okay. Sweet. Loving that. You'll notice that her hair is almost identical in all these too. So that'll be where we start to incorporate some fun puppet stuff. We'll have so much working time on that rainbow cursor. What's the angle of the wall with the door on the left? Oh, it's I saw it as just flat. I know that she reaches out here and touches it at a point here. So like I would need to emphasize a corner for her to be holding the wall there. For it to make sense like that. With her current hand anyway. I haven't decided really, but I do need to get the other cats to jump in here, particularly. That's the next step for me. And I mean that solution is super easy. Like I just select this here, draw on top, grab a dark spot from the edging here, and just and then pitch that in line with the rest of the wall, and then delete. Now I have a reminder that I need to make a corner of the wall, you know, that kind of thing. I'll leave it off for now, though. I don't need it. Okay. Let's go ahead and try to gen some cat paws to be coming at her here. But I also need to get rid of the motion lines that it generated that I don't need in this one. So I'll come into here, establish it as a smart object, edit, and then I'm just going to get rid of these here. Could just easily draw these over, you know what I mean? It's just white. It's nothing special here, but that's also why I don't really care to be considerate of the distortion of going over 1,000 pixels on your marquees. Doesn't really make a difference. You're talking about just white backgrounds like this. There you go. Easy. Easy. Okay. And because I have all these saved as separate objects and stuff here, it's going to be very easy for me to bring in assets from previous or future generations of the images. So very easy for me to just overlay things because of that. So now that I have this saved, I'll also save the master here. And I'm going to pop open Midjourney, and we're going to try to make some cat paws come at her real quick. We'll just take a look at the comic here. Yeah, should be good. Let's do that. Pop myself over to stage here. I made some updates for Phantasma, by the way, since we're here. The main thing to keep in mind is that the new style I don't know what the V really stands for. Style version. 1 and 3 are the ones that seem to work best with Phantasma right now. So by lowering your source weight on top of that, you can start to reintroduce people into your prompts, because natively it kind of comes out like this, where even if you ask for a crowd, it shouldn't give you a crowd. It should be just the big open space. But yeah, it takes a good amount of testing to figure out, and frankly, it's kind of mind-boggling. Like, just like yeah, I do wish that was a little better, but it's all good. Just drop your source weight to reincorporate people now if you use these two codes. So, but what I'm gonna do is crowd of ghosts, yeah. What I'm gonna do though is come into yeah, I saw all the boxes, by the way, and I was like, is there cardboard boxes in a fantasy world? You know what I mean? Like I get like libraries and storage and all that stuff too, but it kind of made me giggle. We had a discussion about this. A gnome blood cult. We had a discussion about this because there's a scene that involves trash cans, and when we were like, wait, there's no like municipal services for trash cans to make sense for a fantasy world, because that's a byproduct of like modern society, right? Or more modern society. So like, heaps of trash make more sense in a fantasy world. But if we did have a municipal organization, it would probably be like goblins or something like that. Like, but we want to keep the gnomes to be like the lesser, the second class. We don't want a third class. So just gnomes, just maybe gnome garbage men makes sense. That'd be fun to prompt for. But what I'm gonna do now though is I'm going to find the generation that I had for this, and you can see I was working on it. And these ones are a product of an expansion. So I zoomed out with the zoom of 1. Oh, you on it? Yeah, enjoy. Yeah, Narbage gnomes. Imagine Star Wars like Jedi gnomes versus Sith gnomes. Just everything's gnomes now. Okay. So you could see that when I did POV of Cat with a character weight of 0, so it's still gonna draw on Sage, but it'll basically ignore her outfit entirely. Like that was pretty useful for getting more dynamic posing for her without having to prompt for it. When everything's known when you follow the nomenclature. Yeah, right. This guy's like doing a karate chop to her face, and I was like, no, make it cute, and so I made it cute. Okay, let's grab that generation of her a little bit earlier. There is Yoda, right? Maybe it was later. I really can just grab any one of these, but I did try to gen her hand in places, so I don't really want to use one of those. I'll just try to double back. The first full res I see of this one. Yeah, there we go. Boop. And very region. I know this is going to be quite tiny for you guys, so should do this on the alpha site, but let's go ahead and just say selecting here. Generally around. It doesn't really matter too much because I'm only caring about this. It doesn't matter if I interrupt any of the rest of the image here. So I'm just going to say without a sref or cref, because we already have enough of that baked into the image. I don't need Sage again or anything like that. I'm just going to say cat paws. Let's actually look this up really quick, because I know that if I go to Google here, POV of cat, it has a better understanding than Midjourney does of what I want, because it's not actually having an understanding. It's the, okay, I want to look through the eyes of a cat. Okay, so POV doesn't really make sense. When you try to prompt for it, it just gives you kind of cats and whatnot, mostly like this. What's this here? Mostly like this, where you're more looking at a guy holding his cat, you know. But this is kind of funny. I could actually try to incorporate this picture. No, don't play any damn ads. Go away. Okay. No, don't click random things either. Screw you. All right, let's just grab this. He might. Let's see here. So I already did all that selection here. I don't want to get rid of it, so I'm just gonna do kind of a bullshit region right now. I'm just gonna say cat paws because I want to save what I selected so that I can then post the image link here. Grab that really quick. I just want to get a shot of a bunch of cats jumping towards her, right? Like, I need 2 pairs of cat paws coming at her there. So, now that I have that link though, I'll just post it as a blend. We'll see if we get anywhere with that. Most likely not, honestly. Yeah, I'm not surprised we're not getting any real progress with this. What I need to do is probably region select both of the top panels and get rid of them entirely, so that there's a lot less influence of what's already in the image than what's here. Let me do that already. Go for that. Yeah. Oh, well, it looked like it tried to draw something on the bottom right there. Mostly it's screwing up the motion lines, which is understandable, but we'll see what it does when I tell it to remove everything else and just include that that bottom panel. I see Legal Beagle just throwing in cat paws. All right. That actually gets us much closer than I thought we would, but it's the, you know, obviously we're looking at the paws. The actual toe beans. You want to make some stop motion, 2 seconds per 2 seconds per frame animation? Yeah. That'd be fun. Let me let's see if I can actually, because I know that the reason why this is coming up is because of the reference image, right? So I know that I can get images of, yeah, see, I don't, no, well, I don't really want to do that because I don't want it to be like this aggressive, like a cat attack, right? I want it to be like this, where they're just being cute and stuff, but I need to get it of the top of the paws, not the sides with claws out and all that kind of stuff. She's not getting attacked by your cats. See, their cats are extremely, they want to eat, but they you know, like it's there's a difference there. Loving claws. Excuse me. Let me just do cat paw toy, because I know that they have, like, yeah, we can these little cat paw guns with the triggers. They actually make great reference materials. because it's kind of harder to sometimes capture a cat paw like that. Misread the situation. Very easy to do with cats. Oh yeah, for sure. So let's see if I go to images here. Let's actually just do top of cat paw. There we go. That's exactly what I want. let's just get this in there. Oops, re-rolling won't do anything there. Neural. Oh no, it's Pinterest. Let's see if this just lets me copy it without having to post to the Discord. Yeah, it's a .jpeg, so it should work. Also this one. I'll just post both links. There we go. And then we'll let that go. Oh, we did get our arm to move though. That's good. It really wants to emphasize the toe beans. So let me. That's the one where we did the blend of it. And of course the anime style is like completely gone. I do like the let's go with this one though. Which arm is better? This one. Yeah, I'll go with the third one here. Oh hey, good to see you. It made like a whole new extension on the door. I'll probably just borrow the arm on this one. But let me do a very region on this. Just add an outline. Oh yeah. There's a lot of tricks you can do to make it look like anime again. There's more rotoscoping done in anime than people realize. There's a Chinese artist that does this really fun anthropomorphic thing. And it's all rotoscope. It's all just his buddies. Messing around in the room and he's drawing over them. Alright, but I know that I'm going to want this one just because it has the right balance there. The toes are not realistic to how a cat's toes are though. So they're almost cartoony. It's like incorporating some of the cartooniness of Sage into the hands there, so that's kind of cute. But I am going to try to redraw at least a little bit of these pockets in the nails here because it's a bit weird. Cats have a little bit of webbing there, and there's no webbing in the scene here. So we'll just go with that. Alright. Maybe I could do a negative on toes if it. I am personally pretty excited about 4th of July coming up. Got a couple things in the works for that. And we are going to probably have a guest star on the Friday stream coming up. And I am also going to post Cowboy Vic to the Chaos Portal in order for people to start having fun in a Western as well. I'm going to make sure that I I get to the music video that I was working with Lex on and post everything probably related to that so that we can all collab on it as opposed to just leaving it to me because I'm just not able to get things done lately. So yeah, a nice cowboy deep dive will be fun um, to do eventually. But for now, I'll just throw it in the Chaos Portal so that everyone can have fun with it. Yeah, I didn't like any of these. Coming up close to 5, I'll probably get as much as I can done today with this, and then have some dinner. Um, I don't know what I'm eating yet, but I feel like it's gonna be a roast of some sort. I have a couple veggie roasts that I need to pull out. Phantasma Western is Movie Machine the precursor to Westworld? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We are slowly building our own Westworld. And but instead of westerns, starting off with westerns, we're starting off with fantasy because I think everyone wants to just shoot lightning bolts and fireballs at each other. I think that's what most people want to do. Instead of live in the Wild West because we feel like I think right now we feel like we live in the Wild West. So that's my guess why they might be relating to that. But look at how well it kind of like incorporated some of like the coloring and hues, particularly the way the vibrance of it. Like it makes sense for what I'm working on. So now I'm just going to copy this upscaled one, and we'll go back to the tablet. And since I know that I'm going to be working inside of this canvas, I'm just going to start messing with it in there and not worry about the entire image just yet. Uh, let's go ahead and put a mold. Yeah, that's fine. You just do that. I already like it, but I definitely want 2 pairs of them. So we're going to duplicate that. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of perspective shift going on here too. Oh, whoops. I forgot that I need to do something. Shoot. This is something where it's like I regret doing this if I don't do it early enough. I need to make this a smart object. Edit it. And I know that I don't need the bottom here, so I'm just going to get rid of that by cropping it. And then I'll use smart object to identify these like that, and then just do a marquee over that. Boom. Now they're a lot cleaner. Don't really have to worry about cleaning anything up. Yeah, that's great. That works fine. Yeah, behind the bush angle, right? Yeah, for sure. But now that I have, yeah, now that I have this though. Skewing isn't really the right way to do this. I know that where the cats end up, one's on the shoulder, one's on the arm, and I haven't really decided whether this black cat is going to be like hanging on the door. Like I have to still figure out the exact final layout on this. That's already good, yeah. So if I now duplicate this, now keep in mind one of the cats is white, so like I'll be doing some manipulation in this regard, but yeah, like just straight silhouettes, yeah. A little bit of perspective shifting there. And then go back to normal scaling for transform. And to make this a little more interesting, what's the relationship between gnomes and magic in Phantasma since the wizards arrived? Do they even know how to make magic? Are they permitted to do so by the wizards, or is it contrarily forbidden? Bit flatter was okay. Yeah. I might mess with. I'll probably reset a couple things with that paw over there, but the Hululu 67. I would say that the without getting too into it, the gnomes are essentially seen as like not I wouldn't say worthy isn't the right word. They're the thing is that all the gnomes, they speak with a Midwest accent, okay? And a lot of the spells and magic that the wizards are doing is verbally, like they announce their spells and stuff like that. It's actually the Midwest accent that prevents them from being able to do magic. You have to speak very in a very specific way, and regional accents are kind of a joke that we are working on when it comes to the series. You end up in in places that have like thick Russian accents, thick Midwest accents, all that kind of stuff, and they're all going to be unable to do magic because their accent is too thick. It's jokes like that we're going to be leaning on. But I don't really have too many other specifics outside of the fact that like it's and spit on the ground every second the time which accent actually does the magic. Okay. Sounds like being a wizard is going to be very difficult for me. Right, you need to be very well spoken to do it without the aid of what wizards use to cast magic, which is like concentrators, like wands, staffs, that kind of thing. The mages, will do that too. Like, for example, Sloth Mage has a staff that Fungalmancer had created. There's no limit. There's no real rules here, guys. We're having fun with it. But the way I kind of logicked that out was that there are other ways to perform magic that doesn't require it being spoken, right? And the humans are very, very particular as one kind of magic, one way of doing things. But the when it comes to the kind of like what language do the wizards actually speak, right? It's a little bit making fun of Harry Potter in the sense that it's going to be like like blah, 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 like just random like onomatopoeia. That's going to be the magic spell words and stuff like that, like bibbly boobly, like just really silly stuff when it comes to that. But they are so high-minded about how they pronounce the goofy words, right? Which is going to be an element of the elitism that'll be in the series. But what I think is going to be funny about it though is the accent will probably, it's going to be written. It's going to be written in comics first, so people won't really know what that accent is at first. But it's if I had any say in it, or at least what the final say in it would be it should be a what do you call it, Pacific Coast announcer voice kind of thing, where it's like all spoken like a 1950s video, like a 1950s like infomercial, not commercial. What do you call those? Like the newsies, like the newsy reels, right? Uh, I would imagine it kind of sounds like that, where it's spoken in a tone that it can be clearly understood, because the recording stuff was like limited in certain like tempos, or sorry, certain ranges of the audio, so they had to speak in a very specific way. The transatlantic voice, I think that's actually what it's called, the transatlantic voice. Let me just confirm that really quick. Oh god, I cannot type today. Transatlantic voice. The transatlantic accent. That's it. The transatlantic accent would probably be how the wizards are, if you were to hear them speaking, would mostly sound like. They're I will be making fun of media and everything else when it comes to some of the elements to the stories and the architect, like the hierarchies of things. So like I won't get into that today, but it is something where specifically choosing the transatlantic voice will make sense later. Oh yeah, exactly. All wizards have trans accents. Yes, exactly. That's they whatever a trans accent is, that's what they got. Can we make the gnomes totally horrible? It's all a lot of like cheese and toast, like it basically like any Midwest Finnish inspired accent is where we're gonna be leaning towards this stuff, which is why gnomes are particularly funny for this too, all right? Because it's like that's common within Netherlands and north, anywhere from Dutch countries to the north, it probably has gnomes. And I just think that the lineage of Midwestern people being from there just makes it more applicable for that. It's the opposite of shiny. Dull. All right, cool. I can now come into here and I should be able to reset transformation. Boom. Right. And you said flatter looked better earlier, so I'm just gonna burp, burp. Something like that for now. Okay. Save that out. And now I need to increase the height of this cat a little bit to adjust for the pause coming up. And you can see that this is kind of how I do my constructions of comics. I'm largely grabbing assets that are within similar generations so that the colors and everything kind of match. And it just kind of flows a bit better that way, because you're at least derivative of the thing that you're working on, instead of relying on either a style reference or complete randomness to get close. Did we had any rules around Fantasia? No. Could be funny to make a shiny gnome like a shiny Pokemon, right? Yeah. For sure. One of the artists has a character that wants to incorporate a Pokeball like mechanism into his OC, so we'll see how that goes. And I mean that as in like it's like a way to capture someone who has a bounty on them, right? It's just a way to hold them. But no rooms. Yeah, I a lot of these ideas are just kind of floating around and loosely inspiring or whatever. So we're going to get to a lot of the details as we keep making things. I'm a big fan of valve time. Like, things take time to do, and I want us to take all the time we need to get it done. And this is no exception from that. I'm going to take my damn time on this one. So we'll see if the rules for Phantasma get kind of established more fast, or if it's something that we just don't want to manage it. We don't want to micromanage this project. So we may not. We may just allow chaos to reign, which I'm down for. I'm down for just letting you guys go nuts for a year, and then we have a mountain of content in order to deduce down. But I do think that we'll probably get the pilot out in June. That's the goal, is to get a pilot out during the summer, so that we can get people connected to wanting more of them. You know. All right. So at this point, I'm actually kind of hungry, so I'm gonna head on out of here, guys. Thank you so much for joining. This was a lot of fun. But I really need to get some food in me. I'm feeling the drain now, and probably should have had granola before I joined the stream today. But this was a lot of fun. I always like making stuff with you guys, but I sometimes hesitate on the comics particularly, just because I like to be in my own headspace, and it's hard for me to branch out of that feeling sometimes. And then as soon as I start streaming, everything's fine. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's cool. But yeah, I definitely appreciate all you guys being here. This is super fun. But for now, I think I'm gonna call it quits. And oh, what are you raging about? Whenever I see an emoticon shaking, I just assume that someone is like, freaking out or whatever. But I just, thank you so much for joining, guys. This was so much fun. I mostly, I hope to see you guys this coming Friday. The guest spot that I have lined up should be really fun. I definitely want to do one more conversation with them before I go live and have 100 plus concurrent Midjourney users going nuts on their OC. But after that, I'm sure everything will be fun to do. So, all right, guys, you'll have a good one. Later. Oh yeah, Gnome Trashman in the Green Lodge. I'm gonna go check that out. Actually, just while you guys are saying bye, I'm just gonna look at that because I know that you did that. So let's take a look. Just real quick. Really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for joining, though. Really do appreciate it. And then Legal Beetle going nuts with his OC. Oh, look at this. They have safety jackets on. Oh man. Let's try this with and I'm gonna end up just SV3. Let's try that with the new one on 3 there, which should make it a little less painterly. Then like okay, that looks cool. That looks cool though. Worker gnome, yeah. Okay, yes, you used actual image injection of the construction. Whoa, these are neat. I love what you do with the city, man. You do some really great establishing shots. So with the SV3, we got a little more. Look at this. Yeah, a little more definition in the face there too, but it's still largely lost because of the image blending, right? So you may want to fall back a little less on the image blending and go. Ooh, these look good though. Yeah, I don't know. Go nuts. I'm gonna stop talking. You guys have a good one. This was super fun. Thank you so much for doing that. A troll for you. I want to see more municipal gnomes. All right. See you.